On the field. Off the field. Sports talk. Entertainment and more. This is Sauce on the Side.
Well, hello there, Dippers, and welcome back to episode 81 of the Sauce on the Side podcast. As always, Dippers, I'm your host, Drake, joined by the man, the producer, Mr. Leighton Pip Shaventone.
You know, Drake, you play all the time on this show because you say some shit that's pretty out there and sometimes inaccurate, but we gotta give you his props when he said last week that was spot on. You told all the Dippers to go the opposite of your pick for Super Bowl, and you were dead on. You picked the Rams, we all picked the Rams, but you're the only one who said, I'm wrong in picking this team. So, props to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whenever you are on a heater like I was 2-8 in postseason betting. You gotta ride my heater, ride it into the sunset. I'm hoping all you guys took my bet because really, today you could be millionaires. Yeah, and joining us today, our guest host, Mr. Brandon B. Reich, the hot take detective, Riker.
So, everybody's talking about the Pats, 6 rings, the GOAT status, but everybody's sleeping on the fact that they lost to the Titans and the Dolphins. I think actually that makes them the best teams. Those are the 2 best teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, leading up to the Super Bowl, I was telling everybody that basically the Chicago Bears, by default, were the NFC champions.
But yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, honestly, if the Titans would have got to the playoffs, I mean, they're just lucky. The whole AFC, NFC, they're all lucky. The Titans had to stay home from the playoffs.
Yeah, and if you think about it, the Packers actually might be the team that is the biggest winner out of all this because they got Matt LaFleur, the offensive coordinator who cracked the code of Bill Belichick's defense, as their head coach.
To the tune of how many points?
Oh, man. Probably like 10, 15 points.
Okay, so last time Patriots scored 13. Fuck, sign him up.
Yeah, sign him up. Super Bowl champions right there. As always, Dippers, be sure to download, subscribe, rate, give us a 5-star review on Spotify, iTunes. Make sure you're downloading. That's definitely important. Check out thefsgn.com where you can find our podcast and other podcasts as well. Be sure to follow on Twitter and Instagram at TheSaucyPod. Guys, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl and that very, very exciting game that it was. We'll talk a little bit about NCAA basketball, bring back the contender cart for college basketball. We've got some darts, hot take detective, and talk a little bit about the NBA because the trade machine has finally been fired up. Guys, Patriots 13, Rams 3. I hope you just now woke up from your nap from last night. What were your initial thoughts on this game just based on an entertainment value?
Couldn't be much worse.
No. I think you hit it right on the head there.
It was like watching your local news at midnight. They got like the Z team in there telling you what's just happened the past 3 hours to end the day, the weather for the next day. It's just awful. Terrible. Even the halftime show was bad.
Yeah. The only thing that I think kept most viewers in it is because we all thought the second half they were going to start exploding. We were just waiting for it.
Yeah.
It just never came.
Yeah, at some point in time you thought the Rams were going to score, and they would get close, and then Goff would throw a pick, or pitchers would start scoring, and then they stall out and punt the ball in their own opponent's territory, kick a field goal.
See, I'm just lucky that I'm such a gambling degenerate that I used all of my funds in the first half to go ahead and bet for the entirety of the game. Because had I had any money left in that account that I used for my gambling, I would have hammered that second half over and been broke today. Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those games where you're sitting there watching, you're like, okay, 2 good teams, something has to happen eventually. And you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you get a Sony Michel 1-yard touchdown run, and that's the game.
Yeah, actually, my only bet that I hit on last night was that I bet the first score of the game would be a Patriots field goal. And that roller coaster to that first field goal was amazing.
Do you want to hear my...
Gronkowski miss. You had so many, punts. Every single punt, I thought I lost it. Oh, it was so exciting when he hit that field goal.
I actually had Sony Michel first touchdown scored. I was riding that thing into the third, fourth quarter.
You also had Gronk, who was right there in the 1 yard.
Yeah, I had twice as good as odds on the Gronk bet. And Gronk catches the ball on the 1 yard line, and I just started screaming. I think that was the loudest I'd cussed all season because that was the largest bet that I've made on a first first touchdown scorer all season.
Mm-hmm.
Such a bummer. But guys, how do we think this was possible for the Patriots to do? You know, they shut down McVay's offense. Do you think this was more about the Patriots' defense being good or the Rams' offense just being bad yesterday?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think Bill Belichick definitely had a perfect game plan made to stop this offense. But, I mean, this offense scored 31 points a game. Like, it was just a bad game overall by the offense. Like, Bill Belichick definitely stopped them, but they scored 3 points. Like, 3 points what they scored.
Oh, yeah. I'm really going to give props to the defense, though. I mean, there was a couple of chances that Goff and the Rams had to, have big plays, to score. I mean, it just seems like every single time Goff had a chance to make a play, he just looked confused out there, and he was all off his timing. They were throwing new looks at him all the time, dialing up blitzes at the perfect, opportunity. I mean, literally, the Rams' offense, over 40% of the plays were for 0 yards or negative yards yesterday. And their average drive was 5 plays long. I mean, this is a team that we saw in Mexico. Well, they didn't go to Mexico, sorry. That went to, that played the Kansas City Chiefs. And how many points they put up? And this team could only muster 3 points. It was just really bizarre. And I think I give it more to Bill Belichick and the Patriots defense.
See, I think I sit right in the middle of this. Whenever I first watched the game, like as I'm watching the game, the whole time I could just think about how much this reminded me of the Rams playing against the Bears. And the only thing that I'll say that was different about this is that whenever they played the Bears, it was in freezing cold conditions, and they have a quarterback in Jared Goff who's basically never played in cold conditions in his life. He's a Cal guy, grew up there, like he's been in California his whole entire life, so I cut him some slack whenever he went to Chicago because honestly, Goff played like shit and the Bears were able to shut him down. Well, you look at the Super Bowl in perfect conditions in a dome, Goff still played like shit and Bill Belichick still was able to shut him down. Like, if Jared Goff goes out there and plays a game that he's capable of playing, there's no way that this team is held under 10, 15 points, even if the defense is playing as good as they possibly could. And you think about the plays that the Rams kind of let the Patriots off the hook on. We had Brandon Cooks standing in the middle of the end zone right underneath the goalpost for 5 minutes until Jared Goff decides to throw him the ball, which was an absolute huge error because at that point they could have scored 10 points and then at the very end of the game they would have been looking at a field goal to tie it up where they could have potentially tried to get one more play in there and it's a whole different game. And then you look at the pass. Stephon Gilmore was actually beat. Brandon Cooks had him whenever they brought in that blitz. Brandon Cooks had him beat by a yard, 2 yards. Jared Goff underthrows the ball by about 15 yards. Like, that ball was supposed to be thrown in the end zone, and he underthrew it by about 15 yards, and then he gets intercepted. So I think it's a mixture of Jared Goff playing absolutely horrible football, and every single time Todd Gurley would get a big run for 10, 15 yards, it would get called back for a hold. So the offense played absolutely horrible. The defenses, let's talk about the Rams defense. The Rams looked awesome too. Both defenses looked phenomenal, and I just think it's a mixture of bad football on offense and actually good, serviceable defense. And I don't think we can just sit here and say this was an absolute dominant defensive performance by both teams. I think both offenses shit to bed too.
Yeah, this was the second and fourth highest scoring offense in football, and they combined 16 points.
Yeah,
this is the third game all year where 16 or fewer points were scored.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think this was not only one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever watched, but it may be one of the worst football games I've watched this season.
Yeah, I feel like I watched 100% of the plays, but I feel like I watched nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I watched at least 100% of the plays, the entirety, and I feel like I watched nothing because I saw nothing happen. And it really sucked, but like the clinching moment was the Rex Burkhead 15-yard run, up 7. Like, that clinched the Super Bowl for the Patriots.
Yeah. Well, and then, like you were saying with the Rams defense, Brady had one drive that he was Brady-esque, like his historic, like the one drive that they scored the touchdown on. That is the only one he made plays in the whole night. The rest of them, like, he occasionally got the ball to Edelman when they ran a zone or he got open. I mean, the rest, it was a good defense performance by both, and it was just a snooze fest.
Yeah, it was one of the worst games I've ever watched. Any final words on this game before we move on to the hypotheticals of the Super Bowl and the commercials and all the stuff around it?
I can't believe, we probably saw the best football ever played in whole this season in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And in fact, this is how it ended. It kind of takes you back, offense rules everything until two defenses come to play, and it's 13-3. I don't know, it's kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I couldn't echo that more.
Yeah, terrible. So, it's time for the hypothetical. And I think we're all going to sit on the same side of the fence on this. So, hypothetical situation. If Belichick had his wish and Jimmy G was QB1 for the Patriots, would we be sitting here today talking about them being Super Bowl champions?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yes, 100%.
Not a doubt in my mind.
Not a doubt.
Well, he tore his ACL, so we'd have Hoyer. And that's a definite no.
Hoyer could have got this job done.
I think Hoyer got that job done yesterday.
He could have got the dub yesterday.
They ran the ball how many times? Almost 30?
Yeah.
If
you can turn around and make a handoff, you can win this game.
Hoyer could have thrown some picks. I don't know. I've seen Hoyer do some magical things, negatively and positively. So, but yes, if Jimmy G's healthy, he's 1,000 times better than Tom Brady is. Especially, I think the season just wears and tears on him at this point in his career, and this playoffs was just awful for him, honestly.
Yeah. So here, I'm just going to lay down some stats for the playoffs for the Patriots. Okay, you tell me what you think. These are all super eye-opening. The Patriots running backs averaged 161.7 yards in each game. They averaged 3 touchdowns per game in the playoffs. Their defense allowed a total of 7 points in the first half of all 3 games combined. That includes the Chargers, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Rams. 7 points in all 3 playoff games combined. Brady, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and in 2 of his 3 playoff games, he had a passer rating that was lower than 30 guys in the NFL's average this season. He was lower than Sam Darnold, Blake Bortles, Case Keenum, Joe Flacco, and Nick Mullins.
Yeah.
I think that is how Blake Bortles should start his next contract negotiation.
Yes.
Yeah. If he gets one of those, you say, listen, Tom Brady was worse than I was last year. Look at the numbers.
Yeah, look at the
He's
numbers.
a Super Bowl champion.
Just
Think about what I could do.
So, the real question is, you owner, who the owner is your coach a good Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, really, dude, this is some of Bill's finest work. People want to say, oh, Tom's 41, he's old, and he's still doing it. He's not that good. He's okay. He can make a play or two when he needs to. He can, get everybody together, rally him up. But as far as being a good quarterback, he's not even close to that.
No, he's flashes in the pan now. He calls a good game. That's about it. I mean, he's physically not there anymore.
No. It was whenever Peyton Manning won his last Super Bowl. Let's just get real.
Pitching was work. He can't throw the fingertips.
No, Peyton was...
can't throw a ball from here to that wall.
But it's still the same thing. But everybody would admit that he sucked, and it wasn't because it was because he didn't have that legacy of winning in Super Bowls and stuff. And I hate how both of them are just completely looked at differently. If I looked at Peyton's touchdown to interception ratio from that season in the playoffs, it was probably better.
Yeah, but the season, that Buck Oswald wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, it's true. The Brocket ship, baby.
Buck Oswald basically won that Super Bowl. Everybody forgets that.
And that's why I say that quarterback's most overvalued position in football. I mean, it just speaks for itself. So guys, commercials. I think the commercials kind of sucked as a whole. But what was your favorite commercial?
I agree. They
were
suck.
horrible.
I would totally disagree.
I
disagree with that completely, utterly.
Name 5 that
were you
were
guys
good.
just drunk and not listening to commercials? What was going on?
I didn't drink at all yesterday. I was to gym after the game.
I didn't
drink at all.
Probably some of the best commercials that I can remember in the last 5 years collectively as a group, by far.
Name 5 good ones.
Off the top of my head, Amazon Alexa one, 100-year anniversary.
That was the
only
good one.
Hyundai with Bateman. Let me think. Bud Light had a couple of decent ones, at least were entertaining.
Ooh, I did like the Bud Light Game of Thrones one, but I love Game of Thrones. I love Bud Light.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, they had a couple of entertaining ones in there. There was a couple of, off the top of my head, I'm now you got me a little bind because I only put my top 2 favorite down. But yeah, I think collectively as a group, there was some dumb, funny, witty one. I mean, some funny, dumb ones, a couple of witty ones, some entertaining ones. I personally liked it.
Okay, so the 2 good ones.
I want a banger every single commercial.
Yeah,
I don't want any of them to
be a
suck.
banger every single
If
time.
you're paying $250,000 for 30 seconds, you better come to fucking play.
Yes, you better play hardball.
Do you realize how much better those commercials are though than the average commercial?
Okay, well,
I mean, commercials suck. Commercials on average just suck. Like nobody wants commercials, and
That's
these
not
are
true.
actually watchable things that we have
Hey,
here.
I
mean,
enjoyed that
speaks for
100-year
itself.
game.
I like 3 commercials yesterday. I like the Stella Artois one with Richest Man in the World.
Okay,
That was good.
2 girls. I liked Anthony Lynn's for He Met People Who Changed His Life.
Yeah, the Anthony Lynn one was awesome.
And then the NFL 100, by far the best commercial of the day. By far.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
you went
by
Dylan's
far.
on.
Let's get real. That might be the best commercial I've seen in years. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was
a
maybe the
phenomenal
best commercial of all time.
I mean, the amount of inside jokes they had in there, it just
The Immaculate
just
Reception.
that was a good one.
had Peyton Manning being typical Peyton Manning, like he threw it.
He's
Oh,
really
that was
good.
hurt.
He's really good in commercials. Like,
Yes, he
No,
is.
like
Peyton Manning's beautiful with that. Like, I mean,
Dude,
and
did
then
you
they
guys
had
see
Marshawn
Terry
Lynch.
Bradshaw's throwing motion? It's still really, really good.
oh,
Like,
it's pristine.
Yeah, and most of those guys can't even like move their arm back and forth. Like Peyton's throwing motion is worse than Terry's, and Terry's like 60.
And they started all off with Marshawn Lynch in a hoodie, reaching for cake. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you couldn't be better right there.
yeah. I loved the Immaculate Reception part, and then later whenever Joe Montana is like rolling out, I think it might have been Michael Irvin or somebody.
Yeah,
he goes,
Michael
"Not so
Irvin.
fast, cowboy." That was
Yeah.
good. I saw something though. This is kind of interesting. In that commercial, they gave the stats of like all the players that were in it. There were 214 miles of passing yards, 284 Pro Bowls, 111,000 rushing yards. All the suits were Michael Strahan collection suits, and that's it. Yeah, that's all I have.
What about Lynch's? Was that Michael Strahan edition as well?
The sock hat with Buckle straight hand dish sock hat.
Was it really?
That's
Fuck, I don't know.
Oh, I was getting ready to say. He probably Dude,
Well, nobody tells Marshawn Lynch what to wear.
I actually have some of his clothes, and it's some of the most comfortable clothes I've ever had.
Marshawn's?
No, not Marshawn.
I was gonna say,
Strahan.
I haven't seen anything Marshawn this like in my life.
No, dude. If I had some Marshawn clothes, I'd be a baller, dude. Wearing a tracksuit every day, that'd be awesome.
I did actually have. I'm actually surprised, Layton, you didn't say one commercial.
What was that?
The Pepsi commercial, because you're the only person in the world I know that prefers Pepsi over Coke.
Pepsi's good, man.
And that whole commercial's premise was because they know that people don't like Pepsi, and they were trying to be like, "No, we're good. Trust us. We have 3 celebrities here. They're saying Pepsi's good. The 3 celebrities in Layton in this world believe in Pepsi."
Leighton had a big old pile of drool underneath him in the table whenever he was watching that commercial.
I like Pepsi. I can have Pepsi right now.
You're the only guy in the world that likes Pepsi outside of the people that get paid to be sponsored by Pepsi.
Because it's always like, is Pepsi okay? And it's always like no, we're going to go with something else. Or you disgruntledly accept the lesser cola beverage.
No, if you got people who just have Coke ingrained in their mind, call their parents tell them Pepsi sucks, and they can't make up their own fucking mind, so they just conform to what their parents think.
Like, do not make this something that it's not.
Yeah,
No.
that's totally what it is.
100%
That's totally what it is. Because everybody conforms with they're told from they're like 3 years old. Oh, that sucks. Oh, therefore that sucks.
Layton
It's the
just,
same thing.
Like, basically compared Coke and Pepsi to political preferences in
Yes.
religion.
You guys,
It's the Coca-Cola propaganda
you
that's
guys
getting into the schools these
you
days.
guys are both sodicists. Both sodicists.
Jesus Christ. Coca-Cola so guys, just a little gut check here. 1 year from today, what game will we be talking about and who wins?
Texans over Rams. Easy. Lock it in.
I went Rams and Chargers, which still nobody in LA will even know a thing about either team. It might be the least attended game of all time.
Hell no. Did you see whenever Sean McVay walked out to the bus to go to the game, there was like 20 to 25 Rams fans standing out there like cheering him on.
LA does not deserve 2 really good football teams.
Hell no.
That is just crazy to me.
Move one to Buffalo.
There you go. Buffalo is another
Yeah,
one.
They deserve it. They would take on 6 NFL franchises and sell out every single day.
It's really a Coleman, Illinois without it.
But Leighton, I do
would
not
have
think
more
the
fans.
Texans will be there because Bill O'Brien will be back.
No, he can get fired week 2 because.
Slow
Here's my thought process. No one cursed me on this, but I have a fucking actual thought to this.
Okay, let's hear it.
The Texas window is really, really weird. They have like Merciless and J.J. Watt, all the older, good but injury prone. Their window is closing. Then they have guys like Watson, Hopkins, and Clowney who are still young and have an open window. And then they have Lamar Miller, who sucks, and they know he sucks. He's gone this year. They're gonna see the window 1 closing and bring in Le'Veon Bell.
No way.
And then they're going to go Super Bowl, and Le'Veon Bell got like 400 total yards in the game against the Rams, and they're going to be 0-2, and then this time next season is going to be, can McVay win the big one? Can Goff get it done?
Willie,
That's what it's
so
gonna
Drake,
be.
who are the Bears going to be playing?
The Chiefs. Dude, the Rams won't make it back next year. The offense looked so bad the last few weeks. I feel like people have started to figure out the McVay thing.
The Bears offense looked so bad over the whole 18 weeks.
No, the
Yeah,
Bears' offense
I
was
think-
fine. Like, they can adapt and score points. Like, the Rams, they're so on or off, where the Bears are just consistently average no matter who they play. And the Bears
they-
have a stellar defense, which the Rams don't. And if you look over the last few weeks, the Saints completely destroyed the Rams' offense for the whole first half of that game. The Rams' offense got destroyed by the Eagles at the end of the regular season. The Bears' defense destroyed the Rams' offense. And then you look at what happened in the playoffs. The only team they could score was the freaking Cowboys.
That's all true, but I think McVay's going to go to the library and figure out some things. He'll be back with some new looks.
Well,
Don't you
here's
worry.
my thing on that too, is that like McVay's the new toy that everybody's wanting to learn on, so it's not like he's going to have time to, study his own craft. It's kind of like whenever Chip Kelly was starting to fall out, whenever he first got into the NFL. Everybody was all over Chip Kelly. Everybody thought Chip Kelly was this wizard, but once people started to figure it out, what happened? His team started being mediocre. And it's just a cycle with coaches, and nobody can do what Bill Belichick's been doing over the last 20 years, where he completely rebuilds himself game by game, quarter by quarter, and it's hard to do. And I think McVay's going to struggle for a year or two. I think that's what's happening.
I would disagree. But
So you think the Rams dynasty is never going to happen?
I think the Rams are going to take some lumps for about a year or two, but I think they'll be good overall.
Do you think Jared Goff's the guy?
No.
Think Matt and Mitch have a much better future?
Yes.
It's a very positive thought. Give a positive thoughts for us.
Yes, actually I do. I think I have some good ones for you guys today, too.
Ooh.
So everyone wants to talk about the age differences. Sean McVay, 33. Bill Belichick, 66. Jared Goff, 24. Tom Brady, 41. Well, how about the differences between the two males Tom Brady lip-kissed on Super Bowl Sunday? Robert Kraft, 77. Benjamin Brady, 9. You know what rhymes with Julian Edelman, Super Bowl MVP? Julian Edelman, Super Bowl PEDs. I don't know what's a bigger problem in the NBA, bats in the San Antonio Spurs arena or snakes in the Golden State Warriors locker room. What is the only thing that makes the NBA teams happier than seeing that clunker of a Super Bowl? NBA teams watching Draymond Green and Kevin Durant screaming at each other on the sidelines while getting beat by the 76ers. It was Boogie's 6th game back before they got into a fight. LeVar Ball said if Lonzo Ball gets traded, he's going to demand that he gets traded to the Suns. LeVar Ball, I don't think you understand how NBA rookie contracts work here. And here's a list of things that have less leverage than LeVar Ball in this trade. Watching Tony Romo call games to a T and nail every single call and know what every single player is going to be doing reminds me why Jerry Jones is a genius. In 2015, he had 2 guys in the quarterback room, Romo and Kellen Moore. One is now one of the most sought-after talents in the NFL, and the other is the play caller for the Cowboys. There's a new book out this week. It's titled 2 Touchdowns, 3 Interceptions. How the GOAT won his 6th Super Bowl and his 2nd Super Bowl with 2 or fewer touchdowns in the postseason. And those have been my thoughts.
Can we talk about those bats?
Yes, I knew you would bring that
What's
up.
going on?
What the hell? I think that was staged.
So I was at the earlier, and I was like, they had sports. I'm guessing it was ESPN on, and their mascot is now wearing a bat catcher uniform and going to catch bats. Like now they're making it just a fun thing. Do they not realize like bats like can actually cause like a lot of diseases? Like
yeah, they carry a lot of diseases. They're nasty.
That's not good. Like now we're making it like a game.
Yeah, dude. Well, I think it was planned because that little coyote guy that's dressed up. He was actually dressed up like the bat, like you said, like Batman.
Guys, so, I missed this. I wasn't here talking about.
You don't know? Okay, so you remember San Antonio Spurs whenever Manu Ginobili smacked the bat out of the air?
Yeah.
Well, that happened again.
Okay.
But this time,
all the time.
Yes, this has been happening a lot.
Like multiple times now. Bats are getting in the arena.
Yes, so that coyote's been dressing up like Batman and with a freaking like huge ass net. He looks like Wile E. Coyote trying to catch Roadrunner with his big ass net. And he's out there like laying out trying to catch these bats. And Greg Popovich thinks this is the funniest shit ever. Like if you watch him on the sidelines, like he's actually cracking a little bit of a smile. And it's very, very heartwarming to watch.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I did not know that. I'm glad I know that now.
It's all hilarious until one person gets rabies and it's magically not as funny anymore.
Yeah. Dude, we need to go to the game and try to get the bat to bite us.
That's a hell of a lawsuit.
We would sue them for so much.
We can own the Spurs.
Yes. The San Antonio Shavantones?
Yes.
That's a hell of a team
Fully
right there.
endorse it. The Call Pats.
Ask the GM.
I love it. So guys, we're going to play a little game here. We're going to save it for later, though. So we'll talk about just the NBA or the college basketball season to date. So another week down, another week closer to B-Reich shaving his head. Last week, he famously proclaimed he would shave his head if Kansas did not have at least a piece of the Big 12 title. Today, they're a half game back. Baylor and K-State are in first place, thanks to a 10-point loss to Texas by Kansas. B-Reich, is your hair hitting the panic button yet?
Okay, I just want to get this straight. My hair has been hitting the panic button since the age of 19. I mean, guys, baldness is a little bitch. But, no, I still think they're going to win. The only real issue I have is K-State. They're starting to play a little bit better. And they have 3 players back from last year's Elite 8 team, their top 3 scorers. So that kind of concerns me.
Well, you could score 6 points a game and be a top 3 scorer for Kansas State.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they're all double-digit, but... Yeah, I get what you're saying.
They don't score a lot, is what the joke I'm making.
Yeah, they are a very good defensive team, but no, I think Kansas is still going to pull it out. Big 12 still weak. K-State though has me a little worried, but Kansas plays, I think K-State and twice and Baylor one more time. So
does this include the Big 12 tournament for you though?
But no, it's regular season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just want. So you're not even doubling down your odds and wanting a piece of the Big 12 tournament. You're just saying regular season.
Regular season was the bet, I thought, all the time.
Regular season, well, yeah, because what if they get into what if they win the regular season and then they get out the second round of the Big 12? I'm not risking that bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you just said a piece. I didn't know if you got both of them.
Oh, you were giving me more odds. I just
No. You laid this bed. You can sleep in it, bald man.
All right. Well, if they lose. I think this is going to be a better question in about 2 weeks after they play K-State and a couple more teams. We might get a little more panicky by then.
Yeah. See, I feel like K-State's going to be that team that's like going to continue to dominate the shitty teams of the Big 12, which is like all of them except for Iowa State and Kansas. And then whenever they have to play the big dogs, they're going to lose.
But they were 4th in the Big 12 last year and they got to the Elite 8. So
yeah, pesky team.
Pesky guys.
So guys, another little pesky team, talking defensively, Virginia. Their basketball team has probably their biggest week of the season this week. They have a game against Duke at home, and then they travel to UNC on Saturday. They travel to UNC 2 days later. Guys, we're going to go either. You go one, both, or neither. How many games will they win this weekend?
So, I think they'll beat Duke at home. They both beat them on the road last time. The game at UNC can be tough for them. Haven't played them yet this season. But I think they'll be able to edge that one out too because the defensive style. And UNC isn't the kind of team that scores enough points to really all the center points. Don't have the offensive firepower to score on Virginia. But there's always that fear that one team gets hot against Virginia and beats them. But I think they win both of these 2 games.
Oh, that'd be big for him. I think Duke will be victorious. I think it'll be another good game.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise, it's the best team. So Layton has a vendetta against Duke if nobody has figured it out.
I love that that last week Layton goes, Duke's been playing like shit. And as soon as I get home, I check the scores. Duke's beating Notre Dame by 30.
Notre Dame sucks.
Yeah, but so Layton thinks Duke should be beating every team by 30 or they're just useless. I'm going to say that Luke May and the boys, though, aren't going to get it done in UNC. Virginia will beat that. I think they'll beat them pretty handily, actually.
Yeah. I actually think they're going to win both. I mean, this team's really freaking good. Like, in Cameron Fieldhouse, whenever Duke plays in Cameron and whenever they play outside of Cameron, there's seriously like an 8-point difference with that team. Just because the Cameron Crazies do get into the game. Like, you see what they play, like, whenever they're on the road. Duke's only played 4 legit road games, and the game against Florida State was one of them, where they didn't play that well, but Zion was out in the second half. But whenever Zion came out, Duke was losing by 1 point. So it's not like it was a huge difference there. But, you know, you look at the game against UNC, UNC's lost every single game that they have not scored 75 points or more in. So they have to freaking score to win. Nobody scores 75 points on Virginia. Virginia's going to go out there, slow the pace of the game down, just kind of nickel and dime them to get death. They're a good 3-point shooting team. They can stop everything on defense. So I think Virginia will actually pull out both these games. They're a team that's really, really freaking good in the regular season. They're really freaking good defensively. As long as they don't have a team go out there and shoot, 70% from 3, or they don't go out there and not be able to make a basket, they win those games. But, guys, a team that I think will be an interesting topic is actually Virginia in this next segment. We have 1 month left in the college basketball regular season.
Can't believe it.
I know.
That's nuts. 1 month. Okay, anyway.
Well, we have the regular season, and then you have the conference tournaments, and then I think I judged it off Louisville's schedule just because they were the team I was on at the time, and their last game I think is March 9th.
Okay, yeah.
That is crazy.
That's a month.
Yeah. And we did, with the football season, we actually did the contender cart where we went through and talked about which teams could possibly win the championship. And I thought it'd be pretty fun to bring it back for college basketball because it brings up some good arguments here. So, guys, this is how it works. We go around, we name teams, we write those teams down, we see if we get it right at the end of the season. So, actually, I'll need to get myself a pen here.
I got it.
Yeah, let's share a pen. You write the names down. I'll have to cross them off my list here. And we're going to go through. They have to get a 2-to-1 vote to get inside our contender cart. We'll go Layton, B-Reich, and then me. Layton, who's first on your contender cart?
Tennessee.
Absolutely.
Not a question.
Okay.
Are they the best team?
Are they the best team?
Yeah.
I think Michigan is, but we don't ban things, Duke. I think Michigan's the best team in the country.
Yeah, I mean, we'll break all these down individually, but I do not think they're the best, but I think they're definitely going to be in the Final Four for sure.
Very, very good.
They're freaking really
very good.
Yeah.
Very,
so I'll just
no real holes on Old Tennessee.
No. I'll just take Duke off the board for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be
that guy. Don't be that guy.
They're in, but the depth scares me.
I don't know about this one, B-Right.
The lack of defense, but I'll throw them in the cart for right now.
Yeah, we'll put
throw
them
them in the cart. The team that's only lost one game and it's beat multiple top 25 teams. Yeah, let's think about that a little bit longer.
I guess we'll put them in.
Andre.
The only reason why I'll put them in, B-Reich, is because Ken Palm said that they're top 4 in defense and offense.
And Brandon, they lost 2 games, not 1. Learn your shit, bro. Trick you up.
They are a bad basketball team.
You're right.
But I guess I'll put them in there because Ken Palm tells me to do. I'm going to go right off the bat. We'll go Virginia.
No.
So here we go.
It's going to be a no because same thing was last year. They were a really good team. Number 1 overall seed. But every single year, a team will get hot against them and not be able to keep up with the scoring.
So that means they don't have a chance to win it.
They haven't. I'm not putting him in the cart. I can't see him winning it.
It's going to be hard. This is one of those situations that it's happened so many years in a row that they are a top 3 seed in the tournament, and they just fall flat. I mean, last year, what was that? Last year that they lost the first round? Number 1 seed?
16 seed. Yep.
First time ever. The same thing hits them every single year. A few games, they'll get lit up. It's just, but it's insane because this team is good. Like, they're have really a good offensive player. I mean,
they're one of 3 teams in college. Well, actually, they're one of 2 teams in college basketball that are ranked in top 5 on both of Ken Palm's sides of the ball with basketball or with offense and defense.
Yeah,
I mean, they're like a top 20 3-point shooting team.
No, they're good, but
they are,
which is something they didn't have the last 10 years.
Yes, but it's still the skepticism because it is Virginia and they're still playing that slow style of basketball, and it still makes you think. But that game that they played against Duke was actually very.
This team's different.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It kind of put a different light to.
Actually, I forgot they play with the greatest team of all time, so I got them in the cart.
Yeah. Dude, they're really good. Just because they don't beat every single team by 30, they are really freaking good.
Yeah. So wait a second. Are you guys? You guys are confusing me here. Do you guys think Virginia's in or not?
I'm gonna put them in. Layton's not putting them in
because they have to be.
I'm not putting them in.
They don't have to be anything. They don't have to be anything.
My car's cheap.
I'm very skeptical, actually.
I also didn't have the Panthers when they were 6-1.
So how many teams would you put into this thing? Because Virginia's a top 4 team in the country, easy.
I have 8, 9.
Yes, you can put. See, here's going to be the issue: is we're not questioning how good they are. We're not questioning that at all. We're questioning, can that style of basketball get it done in the tournament? Because that is.
Kansas State went to the Final Four last year, playing the poor man version of this.
Kansas State was in the Elite 8 last year.
Okay, still they had success.
No,
but that's not winning at all either.
Yes, and I think this is for the Final Four only. But yeah, I mean,
Loyola did the same thing last year. Loyola was basically the poor man version of this.
I understand Layton's skepticism, and I have the same skepticism. And just because they're dominating during the regular season doesn't mean that they're going to have postseason success. But I'm going to put them in the contender cart because I feel like they have to be.
If I got that much pushback there, I've got 16 teams on this son of a bitch.
16 teams.
You're going to have a lot of pushback.
Yeah, a lot of pushback.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of good teams here.
Let's get some of the top here.
Michigan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, best team in the country. No
Only
holes.
issue I have with them is they do have a little trouble sometimes scoring the ball. If their top dog isn't going, I can't say his last name to save my life. But
you see that clunker he had against Wisconsin?
So
he had 0 points against Wisconsin.
That's what I'm saying. He had 0 points, and the team doesn't score that well, but it's still they're a top team. I'm putting them in the cart.
They can still hold you to 50, so it doesn't matter.
Yep. Bannon?
Next one, I'll put Nevada.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're in.
Did you know they have 6 1,000-point scorers?
No.
I didn't know.
Is that not crazy?
As long as it's the same team from last year, but just a little bit better. And they easily could have beat Loyola, would have beat K-State.
Yeah.
They're in it.
Imagine being the coach walking into the tournament with 6 dudes on your roster that scored 1,000 points in their career.
Yeah, I didn't realize that till now. But I did think I put up points, but shit.
Yeah, they're freaking good. I'm going to go Michigan State. That might be one I get a little pushback on, but they're good defensively, offensively.
They're in.
Both in?
I'm not putting them in. They got to prove more to me. They've just been recently good. They got to prove more.
They're good. They're good on offense and defense. That's why I like them. Plus, you have Tom Izzo, who's really, really good in the tournament. Like, he's taken really mediocre teams pretty far, but he's also lost with really, really good teams early. Yeah. But as long as you've had that success once, and I've seen it, I can believe it.
Yeah, and that's like kind of the opposite of the Virginia thing. But I will. We'll check back in 2 weeks, and I may or may not have a change of mind there. But I will say no. But they're still in the cart. So.
North Carolina.
This was one of my last 3 I put down.
This is my last one.
I put them in there.
Yes.
The vets, Roy Williams.
Exactly.
Like, it's coming to get it done. Like, Luke May's a player in college basketball that wins games somehow.
Yeah.
And so, to him, Najee Little, playing every single game, them in. Jake, were you in on them?
They're one of my teams I wrote in.
They are my very, very fringe of the cart.
They're on the mine too.
They were
straddling
my
that cart.
second to last team in.
I skipped
third to last,
some
actually.
teams too. Yeah.
B-Rock, you're up.
I'll go. I'll do it. Kentucky.
Yes.
Shit, it took you that long? They were my sixth team I wrote down.
Yeah, I skipped that one accident.
I have a lot
but
of skepticism for Kentucky.
I do too, but if they play it like they can win it all.
Dude, this team's really freaking good.
Like,
I mean, they got talent. They have talent every year, and
like,
how many championship they have to show for it.
One.
But they've done it once.
Okay, but
Same-
they're nearly the same team. Like, you're acting like it's the same.
Well,
it's a new
Boeheim,
team
does
every
Boeheim,
year for
or
it.
not Boeheim? Boeheim only has one, and he wins in the tournament a lot. He
Hey,
just doesn't
Brandon.
win the big
Yeah,
one.
I don't have
how
a lot of faith in
many times has Tennessee done it?
They have done a lot, but I like their team a lot better than
But
Kentucky's
that-
right now.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I
I think the
don't have
only
to- just a
coach
historic
that we're going to
track.
name that has more than one is maybe Tom Izzo and Coach K.
Yep.
So you had Kentucky. I'll go with a. How many have we written down so far?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Every team we named 8.
Every team we've named is 8.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave the off the wall ones. I'm going to go Virginia Tech.
No.
This Virginia Tech team, they're not gonna blow you away. You're not gonna watch them and leave there just being like, "Wow, that team's phenomenal." But they can grind games down, and they can take you deep into the second half. And the next thing you know, you look up and it's a 2-3 point game with 2 minutes to go. So that's what I really like about this team. They're super fundamentally strong with Buzz. He's one of the best coaches in college basketball that most people haven't heard about. And if you look at their numbers offensively and defensively, they're both in the top 17. They're a little better on offense what they are defensively, but they're still a top 16 team in the country defensively playing in the ACC.
Here's my issue: is when they went up against North Carolina, lost 103-82, Virginia 81-59. I mean, those are two legit, big dogs. So that's my issue.
How they do against Duke?
I don't think they've played Duke yet.
Okay, they'll probably get throttled because they're the best team of all time. But no, I can't put Vodtech in there.
See, I just really like Virginia Tech because, if you look what they did, they're getting better. They held NC State, who's been ranked for the majority of the season, to 24 freaking points.
That game was old SIU ball there. 47-25 or something.
That was awesome.
That's ridiculous. No, but I'm not putting them in.
You don't like Virginia Tech then?
No.
18-3, tough as nails.
Marquette.
Hell yes.
Yep, they shoot a lot of threes and they make it that one guy name. I can never his name. What's his name, Jake?
Is it Hauser or Marcus Howard?
Marcus Howard. Lights it up. I've seen Kimball Walker do it. I've seen Napier do it. So I know it's possible. One guy carries the team, gets hot, and the team around him scores a lot of points. So I like Marquette a lot.
Yeah, they beat some decent talent, so I'll go ahead and put them in there.
Dude, I absolutely love Marquette. I think Marquette's one of my favorite teams to actually win it all because Marcus Howard, he's small, but he can shoot the three ball and he can take it to the rack, and he has two legitimate stretch fours on the floor at all time with both the Hauser brothers, and those guys can shoot the ball from freaking NBA range no problem and make threes. So if you're able to stretch the floor like that with a guy who can score just every single trip down, you're going to be pretty solid in a tough out in the tournament. B-Rock, what do you have left?
All right. Have we not said Gonzaga?
No.
No.
Gonzaga.
No.
No. Same reason as Virginia. Or not same reason, same logic as Virginia.
Well, how is it the same logic as Virginia?
Because I've seen it every year them not get there.
They just got to the championship game, 2 years ago?
Okay, well, for the most part, they have been this good.
No, they completely
my entire
destroyed it right there, but okay.
my entire football watching life, they have been this good at basketball, and they have more often than not failed in the Sweet 16 or the tournament.
Yeah, and this is also a little bit different a team because they're not just a bunch of big men.
Every year, people say this Gonzaga team's fucking different. Every single year.
And then they got to the championship game when everybody doubted them. So, yeah, I would have to say that whole argument you just made was pretty poor, but okay, we'll keep them out.
Could they beat Duke?
They did beat Duke.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
By 2.
Look at that.
I don't think I can. I hate to sound like Leighton because I do believe in Virginia, and I think Gonzaga is a really, really good team. But I just don't know if they can win it all.
They're all a good team. Nothing not a good team.
If you look at the schedule that they're playing, they either play like Santa Clara, Pacific, San Francisco, or Loyola Marymount from basically December 1st on. And I can't get behind a team like that. Like, I know that they did play Tennessee tough. They they lost to North Carolina, but they played them tough. And then they beat Duke. But you're going to go a whole entire 2-3 months without playing anybody worth a shit and then think that you can turn it around and dominate in the tournament? I just can't buy into that kind of... I just can't buy into it. But I feel like that Gonzaga team was better.
I mean, they might have been, but this is just to get to the Final Four, right? That's what this contender cart's for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hell, if you get in the Final Four, you can win it all.
That's true.
You know what? I didn't want to put Gonzaga in there, but I'm going to.
Leighton's pissed now.
No, I don't care.
If
Drake's weak-willed, can't keep his argument, give him his take already.
Well, I don't think Gonzaga's that. I think they're a good basketball team. I think they can make it to the Final Four, but I just don't trust them. I hate how they're playing a shitty schedule for 3 months of the final of the season and expect that they're going to get better. So I think I have 2 more teams here. I'll go with the first one that I might not get as much pushback on, and I'll go Syracuse. Just because it's freaking Syracuse. And every time that we count them out, they're an 11 seed, getting in the tournament, and they play that zone that nobody's seen. As long as they don't play an ACC school that they played twice already, they'll beat them.
I'm going to go no on Syracuse.
What'd you go with?
No.
I'm going to go with the no, too, but something about Syracuse. Like Drake just said, they could. Last year, weren't they in the play-in game? They could beat 8.
Dude, they got to the Final Four in the play-in game like 2 or 3 years ago, too.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody was bitching. They said, it should have went to a mid-major, not Syracuse, and Syracuse playing in the Final Four.
They're just one of those teams, and you're right there, but I'm going to keep them out. But
well, you know what Syracuse reminds me of? The Ravens at the end of the season. Some shit you haven't seen ever, basically since like basketball was in like 1950, and they bring it back, and they're the only team that does it. And you don't see it during the regular season, and they do it better than anybody else, and they beat you with it.
Yeah.
They say they're not the only team that use it, but they definitely do it the best.
Yeah, by far. So no on Syracuse?
No.
Okay.
No.
Leighton, you have any more?
You have any more?
Yeah. This team, I'm voting no on this team, but we get Van's thought on it. Kansas. You said no to Michigan State because they were recently good, but Kansas was recently bad. So do you put them in the coach?
I don't have them in mind.
No. Okay.
Me either.
I don't either.
This is actually going to kind of baffle what my bet, but I'm going to go with K-State.
Oh, you have them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're my own Big 12 team that I got going in. I have K-State.
I could see it for the same reason as Syracuse. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that they're... No. I don't think they'll do it 2 years in a row.
I don't think the Big 12 is good enough.
Yeah, I don't have any Big 12 teams in mind.
Well, see, I don't think they're good enough, but I still think... I think K-State's good enough. The Big 12 as a whole is garbage. Let's get that out there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say no on Kansas, yes on Kansas State. They're both not in the cart.
Yeah, neither one.
Let's hear this off-the-wall one here, Drake. I'm ready.
I think Purdue. Purdue's been hot lately.
The 14-6.
Yeah, they're 10-1 in their last 11 games. At the beginning of the season, they couldn't figure out how to put this whole thing together.
And then the Colts.
In the last four games against ranked opponents, they're 3-1. They're number 10 in the Ken Palm ranking. They're number 3 offensively in the Ken Palm ranking, and their defensive strength of schedule is 3. So they're playing against the best defenses in the country. They're still able to score. You have Carson Edwards. He's basically Kemba Walker, man. Like, he could be that Kemba. He's a little undersized, but he's a guard. 25 points per game. The team, since they've been on this hot stretch, has basically, they've shot more threes than any other team in the country. And they have the third highest three-point percentage in the country over that stretch. So just for that reason, since they've kind of transitioned to a different style of basketball and kind of figured out their way, I think Purdue's a team that we wouldn't be surprised seeing them in the Final Four come March.
I'm actually higher on. I said no on Michigan State, but I'm actually higher on Purdue than Michigan State.
Yeah.
So I'm still gonna. Oh man, I'm gonna say no, but
I don't hate the idea of it.
I don't hate the idea either. As much as I thought when you initially said it, just because I think you said Purdue, and it kind of pissed me off. So, but yeah, no, I don't hate it either. I could see it, but I'm gonna say no on it.
Okay, I'm out of teams. So.
Yeah, that was my last team.
All right,
you have any more
run
teams?
Through it, Layden.
All right, in the contender court we have Tennessee, Duke, Virginia 2-1, Michigan, Nevada, Michigan State with 2-1, North Carolina, Kentucky, Marquette, and Gonzaga with 2-1.
How close are you guys to putting Buffalo into this thing?
I looked at the name, looked at the stats, and the single schedule, and said I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't that close.
Iowa State. Anybody give that a thought?
No.
Yeah.
If they played all the games at home, could always win those games. Then yes.
Hell yeah.
But
dude, never bet against Iowa State in Iowa State. All right. So, dude, I actually like that contender cart segment like a lot. I can't wait till we can do it for the NBA and we all sit here and talk about the Warriors for an hour and a half.
It's like, let's see, I don't know, Lakers, no.
Yeah, the NBA, man, it's a rough sport as of late. So, guys, we'll actually transition now to Be Right, the Hot Take Detective. Guys, in case you are not familiar with this segment, basically how it goes is I give Be Right 3 hot takes. The hot takes that I have come up with myself, things that I truly believe, not just spitting them out of my ass. And Brandon tells me whether or not I'm right or wrong in my take. 99% of the time, Brandon absolutely hates my takes. So, first take, very popular opinion. Yesterday's Super Bowl was at least the worst Super Bowl in the last 20 years. Thoughts?
Yeah, this is a no-doubter. This Super Bowl had all the hype, 2 good offenses, had young and old good coaches. I mean, the best, maybe 2 best coaches in the league this year. We were all ready for this game, for an explosion. So, but what we got this is how I compare it. Say you went to an EDM concert and the drop never happened. You were just sitting there waiting for the drop to happen.
It's just like, yes. It just like goes for like 2 hours.
I caught that fist pump ready to explode.
Dude, I love that.
And it was awful. So, yes.
You know what makes me mad? You know what makes me mad is whenever people say, oh, what about that Broncos and Seahawks Super Bowl a few years ago? It's like, well, we at least saw one team just completely kick ass and see what it's like to be untouchable for a whole entire game. Like, no matter what one team does, like, this team had an answer for it, and they may have been the best football team ever that one day. So I think there's a higher appreciation for that than just 2 teams absolutely laying an egg.
Yeah, I hate people say the game's good just because it's close.
Yeah.
Like
awful.
Like changing sports in basketball, like watching a team win by like 40 is better than watching 2 teams just score in the 40s. Because at least one team playing really good basketball, not both just struggling to do anything.
Yeah. But football, they're all about the close games. So, 1-0 so far. I think I'm actually going to get a couple of these. I said before, I think I'm going to actually I'm going to run the table today. I'm going to go ahead, and that's another bold take I have. I'm going to run the table.
I don't know about that.
I said before the NBA season, the Lakers are more likely to miss the playoffs than win the title. Now, I'm saying that they are more likely to miss the playoffs than win one playoff series.
So, as long as LeBron James is healthy, they're making the playoffs. Completely. I'd almost give him a 90% chance to make the playoffs if LeBron James is healthy. It might even be higher than that. And on top of that, as long as they don't get the Warriors the first round, I could definitely see them winning. If they get the Warriors, I mean, you might as well just go home. So repeat that question, because last time we got in a big argument for no reason. Let me just break this down.
Let me just ask you 2 questions.
Yeah.
What percentage do you give them of missing the playoffs?
I'll go 8.
What percentage do you see them making it out of the first round?
50.
Whoa.
What seed do they get?
As long as they don't get the Warriors. If they get Warriors, it's a 0% chance.
Okay. So you think that they have a better chance to make it out of the first round than miss the playoffs?
I do.
So you're basically giving LeBron an 8% chance to get hurt?
Yes.
Okay.
If he gets hurt for any, if it's more than 2 games at a time, yes. They're not making it.
Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, if I'm looking at it, like, I don't think they can beat the Nuggets, I don't think they can beat the Warriors, and I don't think they can beat the Thunder. Like, LeBron can do a lot of shit.
I think they can beat the Nuggets. I have more skepticism against the Warriors and the Thunder.
See, you must not be thinking about the elevation, Brandon, and home field advantage.
I'm not thinking of the elevation.
Rookie.
You lived there for a long time, you should know.
Yeah, I should know.
All right, so I'm 1-1, damn it. Stephon Gilmore not winning the MVP award yesterday is proof that the Super Bowl MVP awards should not be used to judge a guy's career if it is a success or not.
I'm going to agree with that, and I'm going to even take it a step forward. With how the NFL's been, I don't even think Pro Bowls should be even counted in there.
I agree.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey didn't make the Pro Bowl this year. You're fucking crazy if you don't think he was a Pro Bowl running back.
That's
Juju
crazy.
Smith-Schuster didn't make it. Darius Leonard didn't make it. Jared Cook was a replacement. And Will Lutz missed one field goal and wasn't the kicker. Like, that's like a no-brainer.
Juju actually was a replacement for Antonio Brown.
Was he a replacement as well?
But, dude, he had a better season than Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's actually really funny. I didn't realize he replaced Antonio Brown. But
There were 10 quarterbacks this year in it. 10.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
That's a third of the NFL.
Somehow
Dak Prescott was a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Dak Prescott being in it just ridiculous. But the only thing I could say is Edelman and Gronk together did actually account for 85% of the receiving yards that the Patriots had. He did have a lot of big plays, but yeah, I mean, it has to be Gilmore. The fact that the Super Bowl MVPs, there's a handful of them that I can think off the top of my head that are just non-deserving. This is like a brash decision after the game. I don't like it, so I'll agree with you.
Yes. So let me run you through some stuff real quick, just some stats, because I thought I was actually going to get some pushback on that one. So Julian Edelman, he is the second offensive player in the last 41 years to win a Super Bowl MVP without actually scoring a touchdown. Since 2007, only 2 teams have gotten held to or fewer than 10 points in the Super Bowl. Since 2007, only 2 defensive players have won the Super Bowl MVP. Both of those happened in the same year with Von Miller and Malcolm Smith. And then you look at Stephon Gilmore, what he did yesterday. Guys, he was third in the game in solo tackles on both teams. Doesn't matter team. He was third in the game in solo tackles. He was tied for the most forced fumbles, tied for the most interceptions, and he led the game in pass deflections out of both teams.
Yeah. I mean, I think Edelman was pretty much the Patriots' only offense until the fourth quarter when they were able to run the ball, get Gronk involved. But you're right. I mean, if a team's held to 3 points, it can't be the offensive player, in my opinion.
Hell no.
So, there you go.
And I think the difference is that the sideline was there. On C.J. Anderson, whenever he punched that ball out, had the sideline not been there and they would have picked that ball up, everybody would have been talking about how Stephon Gilmore was this hero. And it's like the only thing that stopped him from getting that MVP award was the sidelines.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'll take 2 for 3. I'll take that any day of the week. So guys, we're going to go ahead and play some darts. Each week, this is kind of the staple of the show. We go around, each of us throw a dart at the dartboard. It lands on it lands on a number that means something. And we debate whether or not, we would have it, we would eat it, we would rather do something. Latency, what's the game this week?
We haven't done this yet, but it's a would you rather. And I found a list on the internet of 217 questions. So these aren't mine, but they're all really good.
Okay, so would you rather? You can give us 2 scenarios, and then we're just going to debate that, huh?
Well, I'm going to give you a scenario. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep.
This will be fun.
Okay.
So, B-Reich, your throw. And we have a 12.
12 is, would you rather never use social media sites or apps again, or never watch another movie or TV show?
This is easy.
I know I'm going with this one.
Oh, social media. I would not use
Without
social
a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, watching movies and TV should be a part of my life.
See, the amount of time I spend on Netflix. Well, you watch more movies than I do, but I still watch movies. Honestly, it might be a blessing in disguise because how pissed off I get at social media is just it's not healthy. Like the amount of just you can see plain lies that are spread and just like ignorance, but yet you're addicted to it. It's terrible. I think I would much rather have that just far away. And I think this one's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Is RedTube included?
Those are movies.
Oh shit, yeah, dude.
They're
Take away my Facebook.
Productions.
They are production.
Take my Facebook. Latency, go ahead and explain yourself. I think I did enough for me.
Movies and TV shows are basically a part of my life. To not have those, I'd rather just not let people bitch on Twitter ever again than I'm not be able to watch real TV.
Your whole segment would be gone.
You can keep the television shows. You can keep the movies, but no.
No.
I'll keep them.
Drake, who's your favorite actress, Drake?
Jenna Jameson.
Really? Not Nicole Aniston?
No.
She's really good though. She's really good at her craft.
The master of her craft. You have to appreciate it.
I think Brand's a big Johnny Sins guy, but that's up for debate. Okay, my throw.
13.
13 is: would you rather have an easy job working for someone else or work for yourself but work incredibly hard? But this was fucking easy.
That's easy.
I would be my own boss.
You'd be your own boss?
Yeah, I work incredibly hard.
Incredibly hard?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
Having a father who works for himself and knowing he takes off every Friday at about 10 o'clock and goes fishing.
That's not working incredibly hard.
He works enough to make money. He works incredibly hard 4 days a week. Okay.
So you could have a chill job, right? It's not hard. You get a good payment. You work your 9 to 5. You go home. You go to happy hour. Or you work incredibly hard, but just nobody tells you what to do.
So you're telling me that my dad is not working incredibly hard?
You said he takes off at like noon on Fridays.
That's not noon.
Hard.
Sometimes 8 a.m. on Fridays. As soon as possible. No. Okay.
Whenever I think of somebody working incredibly hard, owning their own business, it's basically one of those jobs where they're never off work.
Like the 160 hours a week?
Yes.
Okay. For somebody else, probably.
Absolutely.
Oh, I would work for somebody else all day.
Somebody
else.
else.
First of all, no responsibility. You don't have to think about like financials. You just show up to work, do a half-assed job, take a paycheck, go home, have fun.
Yes.
Easy.
I mean, being a boss, that's just all semantics, baby. Like, if it's the same pay grade, sign me up for the least responsibility as possible.
I think the only people that are going to go in the opposite way are people that really need control or something like that. Because I don't. Not in my job.
Leighton. That surprised the hell out of me whenever you said, this is so easy. Like,
okay.
Let me ask you this, Leighton. Would you rather be the Walmart greeter or the guy who's back there, like, just like slaving away just because it says Chavintones on the door, you're answering calls, you have to go out and meet people? Or would you rather just stand out front, chill out, and say, welcome to Chavintones?
Is the pay the same?
Exactly the same.
I'm probably saying hey a whole lot.
Alright, now, my throw. And we have a 2.
A 2 is: would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone but yourself?
Oh, definitely my own future. Just because I would like to sit in front of a game and then live bet. Like, I'd see into the future, I'd see the result of the game, I would come back to reality, and then I would just live bet it. I'd be a billionaire.
Okay, same premise, but the other way around. Because live betting, you can bet free throws. Look at somebody's future, see a free throw, I bet my life on that one free throw, and then do it again for the next one, and I get it. Like,
that's funny that we all thought of betting, because Drake thought of betting that he was watching the game and he was going to bet on it. I thought I would see athletes, like Layden was. I'd see athletes 10 minutes in the future, and then I would just live bet on that. We all thought betting. We all just want to leg up on betting. Whichever one is better for betting, that's the one I want.
Is there a choice that just says we'll take the year in advance sports almanac? Like, if we can just take the sports almanac, I'll be happy with that.
That's the best. One of these involves traveling to the future, and I picked the future for that reason. Okay, so, Tim, what's it going to be? Your future? Or someone else's future?
Somebody else's? I don't know.
Somebody else.
We're all
It doesn't matter to me. Hey, no, here's a bonus one. You ready? Which would you rather have? The winning lottery tickets for a certain day, or would you rather have the year-long sports almanac for the whole entire year?
Oh, the year-long sports almanac.
Year-long sports almanac could be so satisfying.
You would literally just sit there and throw it. I don't know. I feel like at some point in time, you would just bet without looking at it. It would get boring as shit.
You would get... No, hell no.
Oh, no. once you made like
Once
your
you have so much
18th
money.
billionth dollar, you're like, you know what? Kings, Raptors. Let me look at it. $1,000 in the Kings. See what happens. Well, what's it matter?
No way, dude. I'd
But
ride
no,
that
I would
heater all the
want,
way
I would
home.
want the sports almanac.
For sure, no doubt.
Yeah, you know how different your life would be? I mean, you'd live
That'd
at
be
the
a-
sports book.
You live in Las Vegas and you pile enough money to where you can live there forever,
Yeah.
and then lose games still.
Would you just hire somebody to basically just go make all your bets every single day?
You can walk down there. At some point in time, they would stop letting you bet because you were sitting on the fucking money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would definitely think you
What's
had to
always
fix
true?
on.
Can I accept your $4 million bet on the NBA tonight?
That's crazy.
$4 million on the Raptors, Nuggets, Cavaliers, and Nets. So we can't take off 4 of these $1 million bets.
Speaking of NBA betting, the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas, you cannot bet basketball there. I went in there and tried. I guess their owner is the same guy who owns the Rockets, and it's called a conflict of interest.
Oh.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. So Leighton, go ahead and just recap that for us.
Alright, so, we are choosing movies and TV over apps. We will work for somebody else instead of working incredibly hard for ourselves. And we would rather see somebody else's future other than our own. But in the end, along with working gamble, make money off the idea of this, we will do it. So they both kind of won.
Okay. So guys, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the NBA. We actually had our first NBA big deadline trade. Almost video game like, if I had to say. You go ahead and turn on the forced trades. Kristaps Porzingis is officially a Dallas Maverick, and I watched the press conference today, and Mark Cuban looked like a man who just created highway robbery. I mean, he was grinning like a possum eating shit. The Knicks, they get 2 first-round picks, Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, and Wesley Matthews. The Mavericks, they get Tim Hardaway Jr., Kristaps, Courtney Lee, and Trey Burke. Guys, I think we're all in agreement here. What in the hell were the Knicks thinking?
I don't hate it for the Knicks that much.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Because like they did what we all preach on all we talk about on this show is why be mediocre in professional sports, and they decided they just weren't going to do that. They're just going to be really, really bad, and clear up a lot of cap space to make a run at Kevin Durant, who now evidently the favorite to sign according to a lot of people in the NBA, and some other big fan free agent while sucking and get a top draft pick, and they got 2 first-round picks from the Mavericks.
Well,
So I don't hate this at all. I actually like this for both teams a lot.
And then even further, they get rid of Tim Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee's terrible contracts.
Yeah,
Like, that's even a bonus on top of everything. So they clear now. They have like what $60 million in cap space.
78.
And
it's a ton.
Porzingis clearly, by everything I've read, didn't want to be there anymore after this season. So you're gonna lose him. And now they get the expiring contracts, and they get Dennis Smith Jr. Now they have a ton of guards that have a lot of promise that haven't done a lot. So I don't know. I like it for the fact that Porzingis wasn't probably going to re-sign with them, and they probably got a pretty solid deal for it.
See, I just don't understand where the Knicks are coming from. I think that you try to go ahead and just sign him to the max deal, and then you go out and you try to get a free agent this offseason, because what are you going to sign in place of Kristaps Porzingis? Probably a player that's not as good as Kristaps Porzingis. Like, let me go ahead and... So I got on a website today. I looked up the top free agents for this year. So this isn't my opinion. This is somebody else's opinion. It seemed pretty accurate, so I went ahead and used it. You guys tell me, stop, whenever I say a free agent that you would rather build around than a Kristaps Porzingis that's 23 years old, okay? Mirotic.
Stop. Here's the top one.
No. Yeah, I'm going from bottom to top.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mirotic.
I was like, stop.
Yeah,
Mirotic.
I was like,
So, no. You would rather build around this guy than Kristaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, Mirotic, Chris Middleton, Tobias Harris, Boogie Cousins, Kemba Walker, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard.
I'm so confused in the game.
Stop.
I'm so confused. I would not be able to Kyrie.
Kawhi. I mean, I get it. I would definitely 100% Kawhi Leonard. Kyrie Irving, maybe.
Kyrie Irving. That's how I would
Okay.
say.
So then the other guy that I did not name is Kevin Durant. So at this point, you have to sign the top 2 free agents in order to do that.
That's the goal. They're going for it.
But you had one in your back. You had one in your hand.
Yes, okay, but here's the fact that they could re-sign. It wasn't up to Kristaps. I mean, the Knicks could have forced a re-sign just because he would have been a restricted free agent. Yes. However, he didn't want to be there. He was very disgruntled. We've seen actually worse trades happen. I believe we've seen worse trades happen
Oh, we definitely have.
with, like, say, Kawhi Leonard and, Paul George. So I think they saw this and just saw an opening, and that's why they went for it. But yes, I mean, they like me and Larry said, they are trying to get Kevin Durant. They're banking everything on that, and if they don't, they'll be bad another year and probably get more draft picks and then just make another run at it. That is.
But even if they get Kevin Durant, then they're just going to be a mediocre team. Like, they're going to be
Well,
good.
let's say they get Kevin Durant, then they sign another good free agent. Yeah, they make a team, but the Warriors aren't the Warriors anymore, so it's more open.
Okay, so they have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and then they have, like, Kevin Knox, Trier, Frank.
Yeah,
Zion.
They'll probably get a top 3 pick also in the draft.
Yeah,
they'll
so
have that.
RJ, Zion, or I don't know who the guy would be.
I mean, they have a possibility of getting. I mean, yeah, it's a long shot that, like, because there's got to be a lot of things that fall in line. But you could get Zion. You have 3 players. You have a lot of, like, decent role players that have upside. I mean, that could get it done.
I don't know.
And the Warriors wouldn't be the same force they would be without Kevin Durant. They don't have Boogie next year either. And if Klay Thompson also leaves, then they have Steph Curry and Jalen Green.
Yeah, but then they're still not going to be able to beat, unless they get Kawhi Leonard off the Raptors and they're able to get Giannis to get out of Milwaukee, and then, Victor Oladipo gets hurt again, Ben Simmons breaks his neck, then they're flirting with being a top 4 seed in the East.
Well, how confident are you that Kawhi is going to stay in Toronto?
I mean, I'm not very confident, but I don't see the Knicks being able to compete with the 76ers or the Pacers.
I think a team with Kyrie, KD, and Zion can compete with any team in the Eastern Conference.
Yes. 100%. 100%.
100%.
But think about this.
I mean, Zion's looking. A team with Kevin Durant and KD can compete with every team in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
I don't think so. I mean, they're going to be good, but they're going to be good. They're going to be like a 5-seed team, and I mean, we've seen better stars get together before, aka LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh, which is 3 stars with role players that are better than what they have to offer. I mean, they don't have anything for role players. Who would you be most confident with as a role player?
You would have Dennis Smith Jr. You have a possibility of Kevin Knox progressing. You have Mitchell Robinson, who's on a hell of a deal for you. You'll have draft picks coming.
This is
up,
hopeful.
And then yes, but that's all NBA is hopeful. I mean, I'm not going to say it's like foolproof. They made a risk. They definitely took a risk, but you don't get anything for just sitting on your hands and hoping things get better.
Yeah, all we ever say on this podcast, Home to Stay, is just why be mediocre and just go for it, and they went for it.
But you have a 23-year-old Kristaps Porzingis that you could add a Kevin Durant to next year.
Who hated his life in New York and won't get that out.
And on top of that, then you sign Kristaps to a max deal. That's 20, I don't know how much it's going to be, 20-something. And then you also have Tim Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee taking up $30 million or close to $30 million of your cap space as well.
And
who knows if they're even going to get a top prospect of that? I mean, another pre.
And Kristaps won't play this season until ACL. What if he's not the same guy? And then they just got 2 first-round draft picks from the Mavericks.
It's 2019 and it's an ACL tear. He'll be fine.
I'm not saying you will be fine.
I am willing to make the bet. I'm willing to make the bet that the Knicks will not be in the Eastern Conference Finals within the next 3 years, or be better than the Mavericks next year.
Well, that's all depending on.
We'll see what happens this summer.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that this is just a hopeful bargain. Like, I know what Kristaps Porzingis is.
Okay,
I think the Knicks got the 3 best players, probably the 3 best value plays in this trade. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a little expensive, but he still averages 19 points per game.
Yeah, but that's on the Knicks. He's not out with Doncic dominating the handles, Harrison Barnes there. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr. almost makes $18 million, will make $18 million next year, and then has a player option in 2020, 2021 for $19 million. You're not paying Tim Hardaway Jr. $19 million on a winning ball club. You're not. Absolutely
know.
not. That was a terrible contract. That's one of the worst contracts in the
Yeah,
NBA.
but if you look at it though, if you just basically, it's all about perspective and what your team has. Like they're getting Luka Doncic for less than $10 million over the next 4 years, and the guy is already a top 25 basketball player in the NBA.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm talking about for the Knicks. I mean, for the Knicks standpoint, re-signing Kristaps Porzingis, keeping Tim Hardaway Jr., keeping Courtney Lee would completely limit them in free agency this coming up offseason. 100% would.
Yeah, but you could also get those contracts away without maybe giving up Kristaps. I don't know. It'll be interesting how this plays out. This is one of the problems I have with the NBA is that we never talk about now. Everybody's always talking about next offseason. And I've already seen people talking about the next offseason, which this was supposed to be the offseason we were all going to be dialed into, and nobody's ever just lives in the now. Like, if it was the NFL, we don't think about draft picks. We don't think about, what are you going to trade for next year? Like, what's your team going to look like? And that's the problem I have with the NBA. It's the only sport that's like that. And that's what bothers me. But we'll go ahead and talk about the All-Star reserves that were released this week. The Eastern Conference has Blake Griffin, Nikola Vucevic, Bradley Beal, Ben Simmons, Kyle Lowry, Chris Middleton, and D'Angelo Russell. Guys, who was the biggest snub, if there were any, in the East?
This team I'm really okay with. D'Angelo Russell got in for Oladipo. Oladipo plays.
Thanks for reminding me.
I wouldn't mind if you had to be Andre Drummond. Drummond had a really good season, but they were going to go with a guard over a center in any one of today's NBA. Mm-hmm. So overall, I think it's a fine team. I still question, since they pick teams, like they draft their own teams, why they even have East and West anymore.
I agree.
And not just NBA. But
the only reason they have that is so they have equal representation. Equal representation is the only reason.
But that doesn't matter.
That's so more teams can get their players in, and that's the whole goal of it. But there's no real other point to that.
Money.
Yeah. I'm fine with the Eastern Conference teams. I'm fine.
Yeah, and I'm actually fine with D'Angelo Russell getting that spot. The only person you could say is Jimmy Butler. I mean, he is having actually a career best in 3-point percentage, true shooting. He's just playing more efficient overall. And he does have 19.5 points a game, 2 steals a game. But D'Angelo Russell has been basically that Nets, heartbeat, and they're actually in the playoffs, so I don't have a problem with that. And 76ers probably shouldn't get 3 All-Stars if they're hanging on the 3rd seed, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind this team. I think I have a lot of problems with the fact that the Eastern Conference All-Stars are pretty mediocre compared to the West. Like, you look at guys who got left out in the West, it's kind of a bummer. Like, you have Kyle Lowry, Chris Middleton, and D'Angelo Russell, all All-Stars in the East. But, yeah, Luka Doncic, Donovan Mitchell, DeMar DeRozan, like, all guys that are averaging, at least 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Like, none of those guys are in, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, it is what it is as far as just Eastern Conference goes. It has to be fair. How funny is it, though, that D'Angelo Russell's, already an All-Star now? And, where the hell's Nick Young for that Lakers team?
Yeah.
Nick Young.
Yeah, Nick Young, dude. All swaggy P. Think about that.
I mean, D'Angelo Russell was his own worst enemy in the Lakers. I mean, it wasn't all just Nick Young, but he was one of those things. He benefited probably the most from a change of scenery.
Yeah.
He definitely did.
That really works.
But think about this. In NBA, teams get to a fork in the road. D'Angelo Russell, I feel would be really good alongside LeBron now. I think that he would, LeBron be able to mentor him and get him in the right direction there. I think that it's just so damn funny how, you get into a fork every single NBA season, and one decision can change your whole entire look. Monte Ellis and Stephen Curry was a serious decision that the Warriors had to make at one point. Which one were they going to re-sign? Obviously, they made the right decision. And then the Lakers picked between Nick Young and D'Angelo Russell. And they made the right choice. So in the Western Conference, we actually have Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, Damian Lillard, Karl Anthony Towns, Russell Westbrook, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Klay Thompson. Guys, who were the biggest snubs in the West, if they had any at all?
So, again, it's fine, but I would like to have seen Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert in here instead of 3 Warriors or Russell Westbrook maybe, because
Russell Westbrook's going to get in.
I know, like
he's going to get in.
Dude, he's averaging 20, 10, and 11.
Yeah, it's still a double machine. Like that, Luka Doncic, Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. I've seen one of those 2 guys on this team instead of 3 Warriors.
Yeah, Klay Thompson's averaging 21, 4, and 2.
Who were the 3 players?
Doncic, Gobert, and Mitchell.
See, I find it crazy the Jazz don't have either Mitchell or Gobert, and I'd actually rather see Rudy Gobert. Mitchell had a lot of struggles at the beginning of the season. He's definitely pushed it on late to make his stats look overall better.
Yeah. And in January, he averaged 27.7 points per game.
Absolutely crazy this January. He really struggled at the beginning, but, whatever. Rudy Gobert, he's just one of those players that's always just going to be on the outside looking in because people don't take defense as serious as they do offensive numbers. And, he literally has the second most total win shares in the NBA. Rudy Gobert.
That's crazy.
Also, I have a Luka Doncic. Like, I'm done with, Hall of Fame voters not putting in first-time ballots. I'm done with them not putting in rookies. That's so freaking dumb. Just put Luka Doncic in. He's clearly deserving. And then maybe Tobias Harris because he's averaging 21.2 points a game, 8 rebounds, and shooting over 43% from 3. I don't know. Those 3. I have a problem with Klay Thompson in there, but that's
yeah, I definitely have a problem with Klay Thompson. Like, if you want to talk about the stats, just like the numbers, like DeMar DeRozan scoring more per game, more rebounds, more assists. Luka Doncic, same thing, but he's scoring 20 points instead of 21. And then Donovan Mitchell, he had a good enough January to make up for the remainder of the season. But I feel like Rudy Gobert and Andre Drummond are going to be in that same category every single year whenever it comes to all-star votes. Like, they just don't have the popularity and the fan bases to back them in order to get in, even though they are deserving talents. Like, they're both going to get 12 rebounds a game. They're both going to score damn near 20 points, or 18. But they're never going to get in because A, their fan bases are horrible, and B, they're not very marketable players. So yet you'll have a Splash Brother in the all-star game every freaking year. So, guys, it's a team that we haven't mentioned in quite some time, but they're back and they're on fire. Brandon said earlier that he actually trusts the Lakers more than this team. 6 straight wins in the West, including 1 against the Rockets and 1 against the 76ers. The Nuggets sit atop the West with their 1 All-Star, Denver's first All-Star since 2011. Guys, how far realistically do we think this team could go, basically being considered a starless team?
So let's backtrack 15 minutes here. So Jay talked about how here's the NBA because next season all the time, because right now it's never that important. And this is why. Flip is missing confidence, but they're going to go up until they face the Warriors in the playoffs. Because Warriors go carry the West and probably win it all again. There's just no matter how good another team plays, you're just not going to beat 5 all-star NBA caliber players.
Well, and I think they have a chance to lose to, even OKC. I don't think they're better than OKC. I just think they're clearly playing better in the regular season by a few games. But I think you're just getting to the lack of star power, right?
Yeah.
So I do think that the Nuggets even have a little bit better chance to get a little bit better with their depth if Isaiah Thomas can come back and be okay off the bench. They have been missing Gary Harris. The Nuggets are a surprise team just because they're getting contributions from people like Malik Beasley, who scored over 22 points the last 4 games, which is just weird.
It's the elevation, B, right?
It's just the elevation. And I also want to say one thing. When they played the 76ers didn't have Jimmy Butler or Joel Embiid playing, so
still a win.
Still a win. Just so you know. But I don't have much faith, like Layton. If they play the Warriors, they're not beating the Warriors. I have some skepticism against them, against some other good teams in the playoffs. They're a surprise team, good story, but I don't have a lot of faith as far as NBA championships go.
Yeah, see, this is a weird team because they play different basketball than what most teams do.
Yes.
What other team basically has a big man down there getting triple-doubles? It's basically like playing the Ravens in the playoffs. The Ravens, as far as a football team goes, how many stars do they really have? Not many, but they play a different style of football as what everybody else is used to. And how many teams realistically have a 7-foot guy that's pulling the ball off the rim, taking off, running like a freaking point guard? Not very many. So teams aren't used to that kind of basketball, especially whenever it's more of a I won't say a traditional center, but he looks more like a traditional center, and he's not super fast, so he slows the game down. I think that this team can go to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think anybody's beating the Warriors unless the Warriors, get into that weird scenario where they get like a 4 versus 1 matchup against the Rockets, and they get knocked off then because it's going to take a huge, offensive contribution to beat the Warriors. But if they have to play the Warriors, they're kind of in trouble. But if they have to play the Rockets, I like their chances. Just because they're a little different than what most teams have to play, and it's awkward to play against something you don't see a lot of.
So, isn't it beating the Warriors?
Huh?
You need a chance to beat the Warriors, in your mind?
I don't think anybody does.
Yeah. And that sucks.
It sucks. Yeah, this is why the NBA sucks. I don't know.
Very your thoughts on the NBA sucking?
It's fun to watch.
No, it's fun to watch, but your expectations are not set high for the playoffs, right?
I mean, they're not, especially in the West. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Eastern Conference.
The Eastern Conference, exactly.
That'll be fun.
The Eastern Conference, in my opinion, is like my basketball. Like, whoever wins that is my champion. Because the West is just so stupid. Because we know who's going to win. Yeah. I don't know.
And it was coming to the 76ers fall to and lose to the Hornets in the first round.
Oh, man.
Hornets are awful. What are you? They're not
The playoffs. The Nets in the first round. There we go. The Nets.
I really think that our NBA Finals is probably just going to be the 76ers and the Warriors. Because it's such a star-driven league, and it just makes sense that that's what's going to freaking happen.
I think they're going to get there.
You don't think so?
No.
Who do you think's going to beat them?
I think the Bucks can be absolutely both superior to the 76ers.
I think
not vastly superior, but
I think they're better. But dude, there's that little thing that we're sitting here talking about with the Nuggets and why they're not going to succeed. It's because they don't have the star power. The only team that has star power in the East, like top to bottom, is the 76ers. And whenever they want to give a shit, they will.
And who knows, Fultz? We always have a mystery with him.
We never know with Fultz. We never know with Fultz.
2 months from now, they could be getting a first-round draft pick.
God, yeah, I've been like a month or two about to be here on the verge of being traded. Like that night, it was done.
Zaire Smith is playing for their D-League affiliate right now.
He's healthy.
He just came back.
How's that toe? Didn't he get like? Oh, crap! What happened with him? He had peanut allergy.
No, it wasn't peanut. It was some type of allergy reactions to some type of food. It was very, very severe. Had to end up having like a thoracotomy and everything. Like,
then nobody knows what a thoracotomy is.
Yeah, it shouldn't have happened. How about we
explain
a
thoracotomy real quick, Brandon?
He ended up losing like 20 pounds.
What?
Like while he was in the hospital. Yeah, so it just took a really long time.
That's a hell of a diet pill he took.
Yeah. So.
Hey, be right. You know your boy Zaire Smith?
Yeah.
You see what Mikal Bridges did his last 3 games?
I could care less what Mikal Bridges is doing for
16 points, 17 points, 20 points, all on like 70% shooting.
Wait, Jake, wait. That's in the NBA, right? Not in college or G League?
No.
No, so that's the real thing?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. Interesting.
And it's almost like our Shake Milton and Landry Shaman are averaging the same amount of points as he is, and they were. One was a second-round pick and one was a late first-round pick. Regardless, go on. Let's go to your Pitt entertainment review. I'm not talking about this.
Leighton, dude, there's not a single guy that hates the role players of the 76ers more than Brandon.
Move on.
He's done.
So, guys, it is our time to put our producer in the spotlight. Each week, he goes out and he grinds. He watches 1, not 2, not 3. But sometimes he watches 4 movies a week. And he comes in and he talks about them, breaks them down for us. So, Leighton C., what do you got for us today?
So this is something that I didn't plan on talking about. Never thought about I don't talk about this ever, but it stuck out to me as so bad, I just wanted to talk about, and that was a halftime show from yesterday's Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
your entertainment review. I think you did that last year for this, right?
I might have.
Leighton, be really good with this because I actually did not watch it.
Okay, well, you probably saved yourself from some miss anything. So
I thought it was phenomenal, dude.
Okay, so
SpongeBob was on there.
SpongeBob was in this. So start off with Moon 5. Actually, no, it's not Moon 5. It's Adam Levine and 6 dudes behind them. You didn't see any other Moon 5.
Time out, Leighton. What did we get into an argument about last year? Right during the Super Bowl, whenever they announced who the Super Bowl entertainment would be?
Well, they didn't announce this until like November.
Well, when did we get into the argument?
November.
And what did I say? I said it would be horrible.
Yeah, and I said I agreed.
And you argued with me for like 30 minutes.
That's not what we even argued.
Continue.
We argued as to why he was the show and not the Migos.
Continue.
That is what we argued.
No, it wasn't Migos. I said any.
Whatever. Any
rapper.
Atlanta-based rapper versus him. We argued why he was chosen over them, not how good he would be.
Hey, continue to prove me right. Just talk about how bad this thing is. Give it a dip.
So the first song starts off. The song is "Harder to Breathe," my favorite Maroon 5 song.
Oh,
At first, I was like 10 years old, banger. Then he sang "Should Be Loved," something like that. But from there, though, it's all downhill. Because then Travis Scott comes out, and the thing of Travis Scott with this really cool like CGI Earth meteor coming down, and it comes out of the ground and starts rapping sicko mode. That was cool. But then he goes to the middle of the stage, and you just have Adam Levine kind of awkwardly swaying with him, like saying like one or two words with the guitar behind him, and kind of like, what's going on here the whole time? And then boom, Travis Scott falls off the stage. See that, man? Travis Scott fell off the stage.
They didn't show that on TV though.
They didn't show it on TV. But when his camera left him, he walked off the stage.
What the hell?
He just fully thought the stage kept going, kept walking, and fell off the stage. So then they go to, I think the song is Goes Like You, and you just see Adam at the camera. But then wait, he rotates around, and there's a choir behind him to help sing the song. So I thought that was really freaking stupid, and they just took the song away from Adam completely, and some women sang it like a gospel version, and that was trash. And then they brought out Big Boy in a Cadillac, which was sweet.
That was awesome.
And he sang...
In a fur coat.
And he sang 10 seconds of one song, then a chorus of another song, and he was just done. No more Big Boy. I don't see him ever again. So the two rappers that Drake almost fighting me about, almost full fisticuffs in his bitch about 2 months ago, he got to see them for a combined 4 minutes. And then, it was time, Bannon.
Adam Levine went shirtless.
He went shirtless and played Moves Like Jagger. And man, the place lit up like a freaking firecracker. Could not contain the excitement of the fans watching Adam Levine shirtless doing this. They actually had to cancel the game a little, or postpone it because it was witness on the field. But no, the entire thing I thought was just really, really, really awkward. And it could have told better. Lesser JT, don't tell me like, music's not that good. But he was very entertaining. He went to the crowd, went all the way up to the stage at one point. He got to dance, hit me around the guitar in his hands the whole time. I thought it was way less awkward. Before we've had Katy Perry on, was it a dragon? What
was it a lion?
Katy Perry rode some kind of giant animal. Lady Gaga came in from the sky. Adam Levine stood there shitless.
Hey, you lay in the bed that you made. You wanted that Super Bowl show, and that's what you got.
What we fucking argued. We argued nothing. It's done. It's passed. Show sucked.
How many dips do you get the Super Bowl that you wanted?
0.1.
0.1. The lowest rating ever. You know what this is?
He gave something no dips once.
Yeah, the Dark Tower. God, that movie fucking sucked.
You know what this is? This is latency basically writing a movie, picking out all the actor and actresses, and then saying that it sucks. It was absolutely horrible, dude. I'm not kidding. We argued for an hour over this, screaming at each other. And now he's mad because he got what he wanted?
That's not what we were even arguing, Drake.
That's sad.
We were arguing the logic of picking out. We argued why they pick Maroon 5 over a rapper.
I said Maroon 5 sucks.
Layton, that sucks, man. That sucks.
Maroon 5 does not suck.
So, wait a second. You said that it would be better if they didn't have, choose a rapper instead of Maroon 5.
Nope.
But really, it could only be 0 dips. It could only be 0.1 worse than what your boys Maroon 5 were. Wow.
He was really a fifth boy.
Yeah.
A fifth of Maroon 5 is there.
Yeah, a fifth of Maroon 5.
They actually have 7 guys now.
Oh. Ooh. See, I told you he's a Maroon 5 fan.
Maroon 5's good.
They're
The
not
show just
bad.
sucked.
They're not bad, but evidently I got to watch this show now.
The show
Yeah.
sucked.
Definitely watch it. It was awesome. The only cool part was Big Boy came out in a fur coat and a Cadillac.
Yeah, I remember there. I sat down. I wasn't gonna go watch it really, but I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try to enjoy this thing. I sat down. I was not humbled.
Wait a second.
I was very humbled.
You weren't even going to watch the Super Bowl performance that you wanted?
Okay. Bowl predictions.
All right. So, guys, sports bold predictions. What we got this week?
Next year's Super Bowl halftime show will be better than this year's.
That's not very bold. I hope you don't. I hope you don't get to pick the entertainment.
Well, it's in Miami, so you probably want Florida.
Yeah, I'd take him. He's
That would make
kinda
sense. I'm going to go back on my bold take last week. AD does not sign before the trading deadline.
Okay.
Boom.
Boom. Roasted.
Virginia is going to win both games before next week, and we will have one more. I'm not going to say top 10 NBA player because then that indicates only Anthony Davis. I'm going to say we're going to have a top 40 NBA player get traded at the deadline. And it's going to be one of those trades where we're all like, okay, that's really sneaky good.
Any idea who it's going to be?
Yes.
Who?
Vucevic to the Lakers.
Oh, yeah. I could see Vucevic going somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
one more. Matthews gets a buyout and goes to 76ers. That's just my hopeful bold prediction.
Matthews who?
Wesley Matthews, sorry.
Oh, okay. He might probably get bought out.
He gets
Next one
bought
be
out
better.
and then
Next.
goes to 76ers.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that.
Hey,
That
man.
would actually be a pretty good pickup for them.
Ooh, what are they?
Or I could see him going to the Rockets.
Ooh.
That'd suck.
Oh, hell yeah. Going to the Rockets and just being like a 3-point specialist at that point.
Or the Knicks buyout Donnie Jordan signed with the Raptors or Bucks. No, the Bucks don't need to got Brook Lopez. Raptors.
Yeah, they got Brook Lopez. Said nobody ever. Dude, for some reason, that guy can splash a 3 now.
Yes,
Well,
he
I mean,
can.
he had said that a complete game before this. He had one hole. So what do you do all summer?
You just
Shot
get them
threes.
jumpers.
Yank them. Yank the threes.
Yanking threes. And on that note, for Drake, for B-Rod, and Leighton C, as always, Dippers, stay saucy.